In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure a router on a stick as a part of inter-VLAN connectivity. So this topic is on the CCNA exam. However, there's two methods for doing inter-VLAN connectivity. There's this router on a stick that connects directly to a router, and there's also VLAN interfaces that's configured on a layer 3 switch. The difference has mostly to do with performance and scalability. The router on a stick method is typically deployed to a branch office. And that's often where you've only got, say, 3 to 5 VLANs and 20 to 40 hosts. And the other method for VLAN interfaces on a layer 3 switch, that's typically deployed to a data center, where you've got a lot of VLANs and a lot of access switches. And it wouldn't be practical to connect them all to a router with sub-interfaces. So what I've got here is a layer 2 to layer 3 topology. I've got a layer 2 switch here, and I've got 2 host VLANs, and I've also got a server VLAN. So the 2 host VLANs are VLAN 10, VLAN 11, and the server VLAN is VLAN 12. And they're connected to the same switch. And the switch is connected to this router R1, and that's a WAN link over to the data center. And this server is on 172.16.3 subnet. So what I'm going to do as part of this configuration is I'm going to assign VLAN 10 to 192.168.10.0/24. And VLAN 11, I'll assign that to 192.168.11.0/24 network address. And VLAN 12 will be assigned to 192.168.12.0/28 subnet mask. So I'm going to assign them to VLANs on a layer 2 switch. And I'm going to create sub-interfaces on R1. That's going to enable inter-VLAN connectivity. I'll also configure a trunk between the layer 2 switch and R1. Then I'll verify inter-VLAN connectivity is working with a ping from the host to server 1 and also over to the data center server. So what I'll do is start with layer 2 switch. I'm going to configure FA01 as an access port and assign it to VLAN 10. Then FA11 that goes to VLAN 11. That'll be assigned an access port as well and assigned to VLAN 11. And FA21, that's going to be assigned to VLAN 12. And that's also going to be an access port. So it creates the VLAN automatically. So I'm just going to up arrow. I'll change this to 1.1. This goes to VLAN 11. And this is for host 2 subnet. So switch port mode access. Assign it to VLAN 11. And the server subnet. So interface FA21. And VLAN 12. Now I'm going to configure FA31 as a trunk and allow only VLAN 10, 11, and 12. So we'll up arrow again. There's switch port mode trunk. And switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 through 12. So now we'll go over to R1. I'm going to configure sub-interfaces. So the FA00 connects to the layer 2 switch. So I'm going to use that physical interface to create sub-interfaces. And a description. This is the physical link to layer 2 switch. And then no IP address. And no shut. Configure a sub-interface for each VLAN. FA00.1. And the description, default gateway for VLAN 10. And then encapsulation.1Q10. This assigns VLAN 10 to that subinterface. Now an IP address. So since VLAN 10 is going to be a /24 subnet mask, I'll assign host 1 to say 192.168.10.1 through 253. That'll be the host IP address. So we'll use the last IP address for that subnet, and that'll be the gateway address. Now VLAN 11. So I'm just going to up arrow here. I'll change this to a 2. That'll be 0.2 subnet interface. And description, default gateway for VLAN 11. This will be encapsulation.1Q11. In the IP address, I just got to change the 10 to an 11, since it's a /24 as well. And then finally the server VLAN. That's going to be a 0.3. And the default gateway for VLAN 12. Encapsulation.1Q12. And this is a /28. So that'll be a 240, the subnet mask. So the last IP is 14. I'll change this to a 12. So 192.168.12.14. The /28, you've got 14 host IP addresses available. And so I'm just assigning the last one that's available in that subnet. We'll just do copy run to start. And do the same thing on the layer 2 switch. Now the last thing I have to do is configure the default gateway on the host and the server. So I'm going to host 1 here, VLAN 10, and config. .192.168.10.254. That's what I configured on the subinterface. Go to VLAN 11. That's 192.168.11.254. And server. That's 192.168.12.14. And for host 1, note the IP address is 192.168.10.1, and there's the gateway address. In VLAN 11, 192.168.11.1, and the gateway address. And for the server, 192.168.12.1, and there's the gateway address as well. So I'm going to verify this lab. I'm going to send a ping from host 1 and host 2 to server 1 and server 2. This is sending a ping from VLAN 10 to VLAN 12. So server 1 is 192.168.12.1. Got 3 replies. Try it again. And I got all 4 there. Now I'm going to send a ping from host 1 to this server in the data center, 172.16.3.1. So that'll verify that inter-VLAN connectivity is working and also routing to the data center. And I got 2 replies that time. I'll try it again. And getting all 4 replies. So that's working as well. Now we'll go to host 2. This is VLAN 11. I'll ping that server in VLAN 12. And I'm getting all 4 replies, so that's working correctly. Now I'm going to ping from VLAN 11 to the data center. And that's working fine as well. So that verifies that inter-VLAN connectivity is working, and also routing to the data center is working as well. The other thing I want to show you is the routing table in R1. You notice here the sub-interfaces are in the routing table. They show up as connected routes, point 10, 20, and 30. And the reason is because it's connected to a layer 2 switch, so there's no routing. So they are connected routes. And that concludes the video.